At Grant Park in Westfield, hundreds of Hoosiers gathered as Donald Trump returned to Indiana.
We're going to make America greater than ever before. I love you, Indiana. Thank you for all your help.
Governor Mike Pence was first to take the stage, endorsing Trump before the presumptive Republican nominee addressed the crowd.
Donald Trump knows that the boundless potential of the American people awaits, and we can make America great again.
Today's event brought a lot of growing anticipation and speculation as to what could possibly be Trump's reasoning for being here, more so than just gathering votes. A lot were wondering if perhaps a major announcement could be made for the future of his campaign.
But that announcement never came. Amid speculation that he would name Governor Pence as his running mate, Trump instead simply toyed with the idea.
You'll be calling up Mike Pence. I don't know whether he's going to be your governor or your vice president. Who the hell knows?
The deadline for Mike Pence to remove his name from Indiana's gubernatorial race is Friday, the same day Trump has said he will announce his vice presidential candidate. In Westfield, Tony Sandlaben, NewsLink, Indiana.
It is nice to be close to home. When you hit a campaign trail for a statewide office, anything between about a 200-mile radius is called home. But this is truly home. I'm about 5 minutes from home, so this is really nice.
That was current Yorktown School Superintendent Jennifer McCormick speaking to the Indiana Writing Project in Muncie. She and her opponent, Glenda Ritz, have shown similar views on the campaign trail on issues like teacher pay and funding and mental health resources. But differences did emerge when Ritz and McCormick were asked about achievement testing. Ritz is in favor of interim testing, meaning assessing students multiple times a year. She stayed with her goal of making assessments and tests two different things.
Unfortunately, the word assessment in our field is now equal to the word test. But you assess every time you listen to a child read. You assess every time you talk about their writing piece. You assess every time you help two kids have a debate prep. You assess all the time, all day long. And it doesn't have to be a test.
McCormick, meanwhile, raised concerns about interim testing, saying it takes away from teachers' abilities to truly teach their students.
We have high-stake testing 3 times a year versus 1. I'm not sure that's good for the healthy well-being of kids or staff.
McCormick said the time spent on assessing students should be shortened so that students and teachers can then focus on the curriculum rather than passing a major test. Katrina Gibson, the organizer of Tuesday's event, said she hoped the forum would give Muncie voters a chance to hear from both candidates directly without any argument.
I really hope that people walked away feeling like they heard what they wanted to hear to be able to go out and make a successful vote.
Election Day is now less than 3 weeks away, and Hoosiers have already been lining up to vote early all over the state. In Muncie, Tony Sandlaben, NewsLink, Indiana. Election night is now less than 4 weeks away. And as the presidential race focuses on locker room talk and jail time, Indiana's gubernatorial race is focusing on jobs, at least according to John Gregg.
We will focus on the economy, because if we focus on the economy, everything else falls in line.
This was one of a number of visits John Gregg has made to Muncie, Indiana, a traditionally left-leaning Democratic voting city. When asked what Gregg hoped to accomplish by making all of these visits here, his answer was pretty simple.
We travel the entire state of Indiana, regardless of whether it's Democrat or Republican. I'm ready to be governor of all the people of both parties, and this is a very large county. It's a very important county. They got a great economic base. They've got a great university, so we're just out as we travel all of Indiana, just showing and telling Hoosiers that we want to serve as governor, not be governor.
Joe Claybaugh, Delaware County's regional field organizer for the Indiana Democratic Party and former president of the University Democrats, says he hopes, regardless of party loyalties, that people will remain informed and vote.
Just do as much diligent research as possible for whatever side, and Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, whatever, your vote does count.
Early voting begins today ahead of Election Day on November 8th. In Muncie, Tony Sandlaben, NewsLink, Indiana.
The Director of Testing and Certification at the United States Election Assistance Commission spoke to students and faculty earlier today about the security and accuracy of their vote. NewsLink Indiana reporter Brittany Ehrman is live in the newsroom with more. Brittany?
That's right, Esther. Now, Brian Hancock works with overseeing efforts to test and certify voting booths. Now, he gave this presentation due to the fact that some people in Muncie are a little worried that their vote might be altered after they leave the voting booth. Recent comments from Donald Trump at a rally in Arizona,
And I'm afraid the election's going to be rigged, I have to be honest.
have some questioning the security and accuracy of their vote. Muncie residents lined up at Delaware County Clerk's office today to pick a candidate, and Thomas DeWee says even though he voted, he's worried election officials manipulate the votes cast.
The votes that really matter is the people who've got money, so us little people, I don't think really the votes matter, so they probably don't actually get there.
On the other hand, Kent Stoller voted and says he has nothing to worry about.
I feel confident. I feel confident it's accurate. I hope.
Either way, computer science professor Jay Baga tests and certifies voting machines for the Indiana Election Division and says it is highly unlikely for a rigged election.
These voting machines are in each of the 92 counties, and there's over 12,000 of those voting machine units, and these are not connected to internet, and they report their results separately to each county's headquarters, and then those results are put together. So it'll be very hard to get into each machine to try to rig them.
Baga stressed the rumors about voter fraud should not be the reason why people choose not to exercise their right.
I think people should feel comfortable in knowing that there are a lot of people at the federal level and at the state level working very hard to ensure that this election process goes smoothly and it's tested very well.
Now, if you haven't voted already, tomorrow will be your last chance. Holy Trinity Lutheran Church is the election day voting location, and it will be open from 6 in the morning until 6 later that evening. Reporting live from the newsroom, Brittany Ehrman, NewsLink Indiana. Back to you at the news desk.
Is there anyone on stage?
What began as a crowded presidential race has now come down to just two candidates.
I am officially running for President of the United States.
I'm hitting the road to earn your vote.
Both parties had their share of competition, as the Republicans saw 17 candidates, and the Democrats had a fight to the finish between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders.
The American people are sick and tired of hearing about your damn emails.
As the primaries began, the playing field grew thinner and thinner. The Republican race for the nomination soon came down to Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, John Kasich, and Marco Rubio. But after Trump won Rubio's home state of Florida, the senator called it quits.
It is not God's plan that I be president in 2016.
Trump then had Cruz and Kasich to defeat to secure the Republican nomination, and of all states, it was Indiana that seemed to seal the deal.
We're going to make America greater than ever before. I love you, Indiana. Thank you for all your help.
After Trump's victory in the Hoosier state, Kasich and Cruz suspended their campaigns, paving the way for Trump to be the Republican nominee. On the Democratic side, Bernie Sanders continued his campaign through the rest of the primary season before conceding to and endorsing Hillary Clinton as the party's candidate.
I intend to do everything I can to make certain she will be the next president.
From there, it was running mate time. Donald Trump selected Indiana Governor Mike Pence to join his ticket, citing his experience both in Congress and as an executive. Clinton, meanwhile, touted Senator Tim Kaine from Virginia. Now, after some heated debates,
why won't he release his tax returns?
When she said deplorables, she meant it.
Not to mention email and locker room talk controversies, all eyes turn to the polls as Election Day is now less than 24 hours away. Tony Sandlaben, NewsLink Indiana.
Less than 24 hours after Donald Trump was declared the winner of the 2016 presidential election, Muncie community members and Ball State students came together to make their voices heard.
It's going to be a very, very scary 4 years.
Stories and poems,
Aristotle, Alexander the Great,
signs and posters brought people together to demonstrate kindness and inclusion. Levi Todd is a junior at Ball State and organized the event. He says the purpose was to show the opposition of Trump's leadership and bring light to a dark situation.
There is a significant potential for justice and, kind of like a faith in humanity, I guess, to be restored.
Todd stressed that this would be a peaceful demonstration and nothing more, and UPD was at the event to make sure of it. And it was a peaceful protest that Reverend Seth Carrier-Ladd called eye-opening.
Just to hear people's stories and to hear their fear and they're scared for their lives in some cases. It's just a reminder of how important it is that we combat the hate and ignorance that is being spread by people who are going to be in power in our country.
A country that Ball State student Emily Kipp says has disappointed her. But she said the event was empowering and a confirmation that she's not alone.
I feel like this is a time where everybody needs
people, and like this unity was just really nice to see.
I love every single one of you. We will get through this.
Now, despite different messages and shouts around campus from people that were pro-Trump, the people here remain peaceful and follow through with their message. In Muncie, Brittany Ehrman, NewsLink, Indiana.